Everybody talks about how they have mouths to feed, but what happens whenever those mouths become too much? One of these days, a lot of people are going to die if we don't actually start to care. Overpopulation is, when the human race starts to go above the way the Earth can sustain the resources, and the human population is increasing exponentially. Basically, if 6 people have 3 babies, then all right, they have 3 babies, but every 2 people have another one within 2 years, we can say that the new fresher humans will be able to make babies, and it gets harder to control. Every year there's about a 1.24% increase, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it stacks up on top of each other. So it's not 1.25 of this year every year forever. It's this year, and then it's the new total, and the new total. So an example was about 2009 population was 6.7 billion, and today's is about 7.7. It usually will. The idea is that it'll just create a lot of without food. But once those resources start to dwindle, people will end up getting angry at each other, and they'll start having wars fighting for dwindling resources. The crime will increase a whole lot for day-to-day people, just because it's hard to make a living. Now, there's a couple of different things. One is just where you take random killings, or you'll take specific people going, like, let's say you don't have a high enough IQ, you're dead. That's usually frowned upon by most people in society. So something that's more looked forward to is encouraging sex ed, and specifically overpopulation aspects, as in, like, most sex ed is just saying, hey, you'll get a disease if you do this. Instead, say, hey, your children are going to starve to death. There's also an option that's a little bit more extreme, but less than murdering random people in the streets. But it's baby limiting, like China did. They started with a one-child policy, and that was kind of turned out bad because they would just take babies that they didn't want. Like if they wanted a male instead of a female, they would just throw it away. So like a 2 baby would not necessarily make it dwindle, but it would prevent it from increasing too much. Essentially, the population gets harder to control the larger it gets, and it adds stress to the environment and to every human alive. But doing anything at all will help keep the human race alive, whether it be something as talking to an individual person going, hey, you might want to watch out for this, versus talking to an entire nation and going, we have to crack down now. And it depends on each of us whether or not we want the human race to be its own downfall.